G'day, folks. Gentlemen, fellas and Sheilas, welcome back to another chart-topping episode of Voltz Supreme Synth VGM Dream Stream Machine Podcast. Now, a little disclaimer before we get into this episode. This is going to be a semi-bonus, no rules episode, because what we've got coming up, although it is a video game soundtrack, it's pretty light in the synth department. But look, I was just so completely blown away by this album, this soundtrack, that I honestly don't really care that we're doing a semi-bonus episode in the middle of the season, because this is just great stuff and I don't think anyone should be complaining. So here's how we got here. I was actually putting together a normal episode featuring a purely synth soundtrack by today's composer, and having been a bit out of the loop, I decided to see what he'd been up to as of late. So the composer we are talking about is the amazing and multi-talented Jared Emerson-Johnson. Probably best known for his work on pretty much all of the Telltale games. He's done almost all the music, as well as some voice acting and sound design, and probably more. I don't really know. He's a very, very talented guy. He's quite deeply involved in a lot of these projects. Now, I've been a huge fan of Telltale and their work for probably well over a decade now. And for a long time, they were probably my favorite game development studio. But over the last few years, they kind of started working on some titles that didn't really interest me anymore, and then the whole company basically fell apart. So I was interested in finding out what Jared had been up to recently, because I always loved the music in the Telltale games, and I could probably say it's been a pretty heavy inspiration of my own video game music. So, to my very pleasant surprise, a new studio formed by some ex-Telltale staff called Skunk Ape Games have just started remastering and re-releasing all the Sam and Max Telltale seasons. And this also includes remastered soundtracks, one of which, Sam and Max Save the World, was released late last year, as well as the game. And wow, the soundtrack literally dissolved my brain with its awesomeness. I've actually played all of the Sam and Max games except for Save the World. So a lot of these tracks I'd never heard before, and even the ones that got reused in later games still were kind of pretty fresh when I heard them, because I'd only ever previously heard them in the games, and they're often playing through an old sounding jukebox or something like that. And again, you play a game and the song pops up, you don't really have a lot of time to take it in. Like I'd usually listen to a soundtrack over and over again to really get it, to really understand it. But yeah, this was last time I played one of these Sam and Max games could have been about 10 years ago. So it's all very fresh and all coming back. There's a little bit of nostalgia in there, but this is, yeah, we can talk more. This is a really good soundtrack. But for now, I need to introduce this episode's guest. And yes, folks, he's a listener favorite and one of the finest chefs in Europe. He's the head chef of the music-themed London restaurant Le Beats Fondue by Oliver Ackhurst. He's also a music producer and stars in his very own reality TV show, Oliver Oiled, where he takes just regular fast food cooks and attempts to turn them into Michelin quality chefs in only 1 week. So ladies and gentlemen, he's back with us again, all the way from downtown London. It's Oliver Ackhurst. Welcome back to the show, Olly. Great to have you.
Voltz, it's an absolute pleasure to be back with you on the broadcast. It's always been a real mouth-watering experience being on your show and listening to your favorite video game and film soundtracks. I've certainly been a bit peckish as of late, and I just can't wait to sink my teeth into more of your musical choices.
Yeah, that's great, Olly. Well, I had to get you for this episode because it's one
and I'm glad you did. After hearing that introduction music and your opening statements, you've got me all buttered up like a juicy charred chicken after 10 minutes in a smoking hot tandoor. Oh, cover me in creamy curry, Voltz, and let's get into it.
All right, well, I'm not sure how to do that on a podcast, but yeah, what we've heard so far is it was the new title track of Sam and Max Save the World Remastered, then it was The Office, and now playing in the background is the track called Good Sam, Bad Max, all by the fantastic Jared Emerson-Johnson. And now, being a synth music podcast, I'm going to kick things off with the synthiest track on the list. This next track is called Prismatology Retreat. Olly, I hope you got a real good set of headphones on, as well as all the listeners out there, because this amazing track is literally a feast for the ears. At 5 minutes, it's probably one of the longer and more atmospheric tracks we're going to be playing, but I really want to play the whole thing. This is just an incredible musical trip. Prismatology Retreat by Jared Emerson-Johnson. Enjoy.
Dish it up. pork buns.
Wow, what a journey. That is such a visual piece of music, so incredibly atmospheric that it literally just conjures up all these images in my mind. So good. What did you think, Ollie?
Oh my great sacred chef hat, that was not what I was expecting after those first few introduction songs that we heard. If what we just experienced was a multiple course dish, a meal, a multiple course meal, well, we started with some really tasty, maybe a traditional American classic, a couple of them, and then for dessert, Voltz, you've served us up some stuffed psychoactive mushrooms with the tart cheese topping all drizzled with melted butter and cactus juice. Oh, now I've got the munchies and I just can't wait for what is next. Possibilities are endless after that.
Yeah, that track is a real trip. And with the new mastering, the remastering, every sound is just so crisp and clear. It sounds like your head is in this tornado or whirlwind of sounds. Everything's just spinning around you. Oh, I don't know. I also have to say that baby voice is just the icing on the cake. So clever. That's great. Okay, well, let's move on. This is nearly a 3-hour soundtrack, 82 songs. So I'm just going to give you a little sample of some of my favorite tracks. And then hopefully you jump onto the Bandcamp and hit that buy button. Up next, this was literally the track that made me buy the soundtrack. By only track number 5, I was halfway through this song and I just thought, this is so good. I have absolutely no reason not to buy this just based on these 5 first songs. So without hearing anything else, I did. And the track is Bosco's. And this usually plays on a cheap little radio when you're in Bosco's shop. So to hear it like this, fully remastered and ultra crisp, this is such a treat. Jared Emerson-Johnson is just literally aiming beyond the stars with this soundtrack. This is Bosco's. Please dig it. How good is that? That song just doesn't sit still. A lot like a lot of these songs, Jared has taken a fairly well-known idea or style, but he's just dialed everything up to 11. And really over the top, but in such a joyful and exciting way. This is perfect music for Sam and Max, which is also really over the top in all the right ways. Wow, what did you think, Ollie?
Well, I've just told my sous chef to go fix me up a double pina colada with a good dollop of frosted pineapple and maraschino cherry sorbet, if that gives you any kind of indication.
I don't really know what that is.
Right. Okay, well, Voltz, have you ever stepped inside an elevator that made you feel even more fresher and spritzier than when you were actually outside? Of course not. Unless, of course, this track was playing on the speakers. Dear heavenly coconut daiquiris! I felt like that elevator pitch was taking me straight up into the sky. What an absolutely fantastic sensation. Oh, I loved every moment of it. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was...
That's a daiquiri too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I knew you'd love that one, but we need to move on. Look, something really special about this soundtrack is the huge amount of vocal tracks there are. Now, I know a lot of people that, the idea of a video game vocal track will, it's just a no-go. But these are all voiced by Jared himself, and as I mentioned, he's also a voice actor, so the vocals are nice and cartoony, but really well executed, and the lyrics are perfectly Sam and Max. So I honestly think these are some of the best vocal video game tracks I've ever heard. So here we go. 2 short songs played back to back as they appear on the soundtrack. It's Cruisin, followed by the vocal track More Than Jerks from Sam and Max Save the World, remastered by Jared Emerson-Johnson. Enjoy. tons of energy and character. Hilarious lyrics that don't really make much sense without context or playing the game. But really great stuff. And look, probably doesn't make much sense even within the context of the game either. But as my listeners know, Ollie, I really appreciate a bit of humour and composers not feeling like everything has to be super serious all the time.
Humor is what makes the world go round, Voltz. It's part of the interconnected ecology of the mind that flows in and out within you and without you.
Right. Well, I love those tracks. Really well performed by the musicians, and it's just got that classic old school detective crime film sound. Really draws you into the world of Sam and Max. But let's move on. This is coming up now. This is one of my favorite tracks. It really ramps up near the second half, and I just love a good portamento theremin sounding synth for maximum cheese. This is really awesome. Bit of a Bernard Herrmann, The Day the Earth Stood Still kind of vibe to it. Very dramatic stuff. This is The Black Hole. Makes the hairs stand up on the back of your neck. Super dramatic, but with tons of, cartoony kind of character and expression. So many little clever things going on in that song. It's not at all simple, but nothing is detracting or confusing the vibe that it's supposed to be creating. Really strong piece of music. And the amount of dynamics and musical expressiveness in this song is something quite rare in video game music, in my honest opinion. even some of the big-time composers who are able to afford full orchestras and bands and stuff, they really get this level of musical character and expressiveness in their songs. But then again, it's all very subjective. What are your thoughts, Ollie?
Yes, well, I was most certainly getting vibes of Bernard Herrmann, for sure. One of the greatest film composers of the 20th century.
Yeah.
And this is yet again another type of dish we hadn't previously come to expect, based on the previous courses. I'm just absolutely taken back and impressed by how well he has done to execute everything that you've dished up to us. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's kind of my aim with this podcast episode, just to give a bit of a sweeping listen of some of the different styles and stuff like that. But if you've been following Jared's work with, say, Telltale, you'd know that they do all kinds of different themes and styles of games, anywhere from Back to the Future to The Walking Dead. And although not everything is as exciting as this, Jared takes on all the different styles that are required, and literally he just nails it every single time so well. So speaking of different styles, again, here's a fun little track that kind of stands out from the rest. You'll like this one, Ollie. It's called Cooking Without Looking. Enjoy. What a fun little track. I love that very noble and Baroque style with the harpsichord, and it's all very kind of tight and staccato compared to what we've heard previously, which is quite loose and free. I also think it's really cool how during the second time around we get those reed jazz instruments coming back to play the melodies, and I think it sounds like a baritone, an alto, sax, and a clarinet underneath. It just gives it a nice new flavour the second time around, but really joins it back to the main sound of the soundtrack.
I'll be with you in a moment.
Ollie, how'd you like that, Ollie? Ollie?
Well, my apologies, Voltz. I was going to say something about a royal feast or something along those lines, but look, speaking of a song called Cooking Without Looking, we've just had a mild disaster in the kitchen.
Oh, really?
Yes, Jerome, one of my waiters, was delivering a roasted Moreton Bay bug with turnips and radishes, one of our staple dishes, and he got distracted by the lack of Sigro miso on the fermented chili paste while looking at the plate. He wasn't watching where he was going, tripped over and crashed into our shark tank.
A shark tank?
Well, of course. Every ingredient we provide has to be of the utmost freshest quality. Now, when it comes to ingredients we can't source locally, we either grow them ourselves or take care of them until dinner time comes. We've managed to turn a lot of this into visual features of the restaurant, and the kids get a real big kick out of the giant shark tank in the center of the restaurant. It's quite a bit of fun.
Well, I just hope everything's okay.
Just a tiny crack and a little tittle of water leaking. Nothing we can't patch up, nothing at all. I'll have my staff deal with it after we close down. I wouldn't want to alarm our guests right now.
Yeah, wow. I can't even imagine what it would be like if a tank of sharks burst open in the middle of a restaurant. Oh,
that would be a disaster. Our restaurant is built slightly below ground floor, so the water from the tank would probably fill the restaurant enough to allow for the sharks to just swim freely for, a good quarter of an hour before we could drain it, or... that's not going to happen. It's only a little tittle of a leak, Voltz.
You've never watched the movie Free Willy, have you?
Of course course I've seen Free Willy, but that is pure fiction, Voltz. What we're facing here is a real situation that must bend to the majesty of the laws of physics. Let's not get too fantastical now.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, you're there, and, I'll let you be the judge. You can see the situation for yourself. So let's just get on with the show. And what we have coming up next is a very fantastical song. This is another hilarious and well-written vocal track called Just You, Me, and Ted E. Bear by Jared Emerson-Johnson. Please enjoy this great track.
N-O-M-A-F-I-A, oh baby. Welcome, welcome, generous friends. Days and weeks and tokens to spend. We're just regular businessmen, just you and me and Teddy Bear. Teddy Bears is oodles of fun, slots and sandwiches and poker and gun. And look, no mobsters, nary a one, with you and me and Teddy Bear. Not mafia, no, mafia mugs. We're mafia-free. Like mafia, please. No shady leaves upon the family tree. J. Edgar Hoover always insists organized crime just doesn't exist. QED, they're not in our midst. Say Edgar, me, and Teddy Bear. No goons, no droppers, no grippers, no thugs. No dips, no clippers, no chippies, no lugs. No button men packing gats loaded with slugs. It's you and me and Teddy Bear. No mafia here. Like mafia, please. We're mafia-free. No mafia mugs. Just doing business legitimately.
What a great track. So based on my experience with the other games, my guess is that once you complete a certain number of puzzles in a section, the background music switches to the vocal track. Now you've got the normal background song playing now, which is called Ted E. Bear's Mafia-Free, Playland and Casino. And yeah, imagine once you've completed that section, it breaks out into that vocal version, which is just hilarious and such an unexpected thing to do in a computer game. I love it. It's great. How'd you find that, Olly?
It gave me a good chuckle. It reminds me of certain trainee chefs. Before you've even made a judgment about their dish or examined their technical expertise, they're already on the defense, telling you how they didn't curdle this and most certainly didn't dry fry the garlic before adding the truffle butter. Oh, heavens. Well, this is something I can really relate to, this song, and I am just truly enjoying all the flavors and all the excellent execution of all these flavors and styles.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a true wonder of a video game soundtrack. Amazing stuff.
Yeah. Look, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Olly. And again, great vocals, both musically and with the different voices, characters by Jared. Yeah, I knew you'd love this, Olly. And now I'd like to go to another absolute banger of a song. Sticking with the Mafia theme, this is just really well done. And this is another one of those songs that just keeps building and building, and it just really crescendos near the end. Again, gives me chills. I love this. It's Don, Ted E. Bear, Waltz. You'll love this, Olly. How good is that?
So rich and full of flavor.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't seem to get songs with this much character outside of point-and-click games, in my experience. I'm no endless source of knowledge when it comes to video game music, but I can't think of many composers who have pulled off this kind of thing in the context of a video game soundtrack. Maybe the guys from LucasArts, who I should mention did the original Sam & Max Hit the Road. Peter McConnell has certainly done some interesting and unique stuff with lots of character, but I still think this soundtrack stands on its own. I should also add that without too much knowledge in this area, Jared has worked with, to some extent, all the main LucasArts composers, who I'm very big fans of. Firstly, I think Bay Area Sound, who Jared works for, was started by Clint Bajakian. He's worked directly with Peter McConnell, and Michael Land did the music for Telltale's Monkey Island series, which Jared was involved with outside of composing. He did some voice acting and probably some other stuff as well. And as most people know, Telltale was formed by ex-LucasArts employees. They seem to be a bit more spread out now. But anyway, what I've been playing in the background are some chiptune versions of regular reoccurring songs in the game. And before we move away from the performed music to some chiptunes, I really should mention the musicians who perform on this soundtrack, who obviously play a very big part in giving the music so much character and life. So I'll just quickly mention them. You got flutes, you got Daniel Gianola Norris, clarinets and saxophones by Jordan Wardlaw, trumpets Michael Whitwell, Dale Guttridge, and Daniel Gianola Norris, trombones by Jason Thor, and drums by Jesse Wickman and Alex Aspinall. So yeah, really great performances from these guys, and obviously everything else is either performed or programmed by Jared. But now, swinging away from live music, we dive into something on the other side of the scale. Again, without playing the game, there's a whole episode of this game, I think, that is computer themed, and I'm guessing it's got all the music is just in this chiptune style, which is pretty cool. So let's play a few of these chiptune style tracks. Here's one which is clearly going for a more traditional old school video game sound. This is Combat Begin. Enjoy. Good fun. Sounds pretty legit to me. Just a little bit of reverb added. But now, Olly, you might be surprised that after all our talk of how much the real musicians add to the character of these songs, that actually a lot of these songs translate really well into chiptune music. And right now we can hear Bosco's 2.0 playing. So very nice. I'll just turn it up a little bit.
Delicious.
Very nice, very nice.
Right, well, I guess that means the composition is able to hold its own weight regardless of the presentation. Am I not correct here?
Yeah, exactly. And just listen to that. If I heard that on an old console game or something, I would be very impressed. Is everything okay over there, Ollie?
Yes, everything's fine.
Yeah. Pardon?
I just need to go check on this leak in the shark tank. Won't be long. I'll be back soon.
Okay. Well, we'll play a couple more chiptune tracks. These next ones are two great little tracks, very groovy, and I love the glitchiness of the second one. So the next two tracks are Cookin The Books and 404. Enjoy. Very cool.
We'll go get some buckets then, and don't let anyone else sit at tables 18 and 19. No, we can't have anyone leave before closing time.
Olly, is everything...
I don't care. The restaurant does not close. Just have Jerome do it. It's his fault.
Olly, is everything okay?
Of course it is. This is a Michelin restaurant. My apologies, Voltz. I might need to get back to running this restaurant soon.
Yeah, okay, so everything is okay. I mean, good to hear everything's okay.
I'm sorry. I missed those last two songs you're playing. I'm sure they were just spectacular.
Yeah, I just thought they were really nice and groovy, and the glitchiness, again, very unconventional for video game music. I love...
Well then get bigger buckets! No one leaves my restaurant!
Ooh, sounds like things are not going so well.
Well, what do you think, idiot sandwich? Don't turn on the digital scramblers. I don't want anyone being able to live stream any of this.
Okay, well, we'll just let Olly deal with whatever's going on over there, and we'll get to some more amazing music from this Sam & Max game. Alright, well, look, as many people know, one of my all-time favourite games is Telltale's Poker Night 2. And you basically play poker against all these fantastic video game and cartoon characters, including Sam, there's someone you play against, and you got Max in the background making smart comments all the time. And of course, the excellent music is by Jared Emerson-Johnson. Now, one of the cool things about this game is that you basically start with the like the base stuff, the chips, table, location, etc. But as you play, you earn these tokens, which you can use to then purchase things that are themed based on the characters you play against. So you play against Claptrap, another one of my favorite video game characters. And so you can purchase Borderlands themed chips or cards, table, etc. Now, a fun thing that happens in this game is when you've bought and activated all of the items of a single theme, the whole game takes on that theme. So when you get a Borderlands theme, all of a sudden you're not playing in the inventory anymore. You're playing poker at Moxie's. And the conversations between the characters are about Borderlands, or these Borderlands conversations start coming up that you don't get when you're playing as another theme or the basic theme. And also, which is really cool, the music changes. So the music becomes like a Borderlands theme, which is it's super cool because it's a very atmospheric game. So the fact that you can just change the vibe of the whole game by activating these themes is really cool in my opinion. And of course, if you activate the Sam and Max theme, everything turns Sam and Max. You end up in this place that kind of looks like their office, and everything kind of goes a bit black and white as well. And there were some musical tracks that played.
Well, quick, go put a bunch of bicarb soda down all the drains. Make sure nothing's blocked up. Quick, get to it now.
While this theme was activated, that I thought were really cool, but I really didn't recognize them. And well, after that, massive plug for Poker Night 2, which to my knowledge is sadly unavailable since Telltale collapsed. Here is one of those songs that I was hearing, and I just thought, wow, this is so interesting. And so, of course, it was one of the Sam and Max Save the World tracks that I just never heard because I hadn't played the game. So here it is. This track is called Moonscape. Enjoy.
Why are my socks wet?
Amazing. Another very unconventional piece of video game music. It certainly sounds like something very serious is going on. If I'm trying to solve a puzzle with this music in the background, it is no doubt going to make me feel like a certain sense of something seriously sinister and important is waiting at the end of my puzzle solving. Something major like saving the world, maybe. But, alright, folks, I'm sorry about this background noise. Olly, you still with us? Olly.
Nobody leaves my restaurant. Lock the doors. I will not have my first negative review because of some insignificant fish tank leaking.
Oh, but Chef, I don't think we can hold it back much longer. The whole thing's about to explode.
Keep those dishes going out. Go around each table. Reassure them that everything is okay.
Oh, Chef, I knew it was a bad idea to have a great white shark sit in the restaurant.
Are you questioning my authority? You're fired, Jerome. Out right now.
Oh, but Chef, the doors have all been locked.
I've had enough of you.
Gee, this does not sound good. I don't know why my guests always seem to get into so much trouble when we do an episode together, but look, we better kick on and try to get this episode wrapped up. Okay, this is a fitting track. Very epic, very dramatic. This is Hugh's Inner Sanctum. Enjoy. That was a great track, but I can't believe this. I knew he should have paid more attention to Free Willy. This situation sounds horrific. I pretty much lost contact with Olly. Oh man, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to finish this episode here, but wow, what an amazing soundtrack. Even after listening to this so much over the past few weeks, this still brings a smile to my face. Jared Emerson-Johnson. Wow, this is one of his first soundtracks with Telltale, and man, did he start with a bang. So go check out this whole soundtrack for yourself and support Skunk Ape Games as they make these classic games available to us again in fresh high definition. And yeah, buy the remastered game or the soundtrack. All the links will be in the description. I'm going to have to check in with Olly after all this washes over. But folks, thanks for tuning in to Voltz Supreme's Synth VGM Dream Stream Machine podcast. Remember to share this around. You guys sharing this is really my only kind of marketing, if you could call it that. So we've got another really cool episode lined up for you all next month, featuring some really special indie composers. So stay tuned and remember to stay synthetic. I'll now leave you with one more fantastic vocal track by the amazing Jared Emerson-Johnson from the fantastic Sam and Max Save the World remastered soundtrack. This is World of Max. Enjoy and ciao for now. Alright, wow. Thanks. Oh, goodness. Alright. See you folks. Stay synthetic.
Stick a fork in, open wide. Everyone is Max inside, full of colorful guts and habits. Cryptic work of cryptic rabbits. Underutilized impulse control. Rabbit rampant junk food. Black hole, loopy cravings. Rigmarole, feel his giant feet right in your soul. Mania sloth, irreverence, excess, gluttony, revelry, violence and selfishness. Flags of pure unfettered, it brashly unfurled. It's a Max, 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 Max world. Do-ba-ba-ba. Everyone's a sandwich of naivety and cynicism. Everyone's a salad of disinterested fantasism. Everyone's a walking beaker of potential cataclysm. La 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 la. Everyone's refracted through a protoplasm prism. Stick a spork in deep inside. Everyone is maxified by hypnosis or by nature. What's the difference? Just nomenclature. Shake your friend's adorable paws. Careful of his powerful biting jaws. We're a mix of cop and felon, wearing heads like ripened watermelons. Mania sloth, irreverence, excess, gluttony, revelry, violence and selfishness. Flags of pure unfettered, it brashly unfurled. It's a Max, 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 Max world. reality is tenuously tied up like a sagging wolf. Morality in motion like a squirmy burlap bag of dwarfs. Formality's impossible when all of us are lagomorphs. Lagomorpho, what the hell's a lagomorph? It's kind of like a rodent but for minor technicalities. And so are you and I and every major nationality. We're garrulously social and asocial personalities. Our conscience is a curiously useless abnormality. A useless abnormality, a useless abnormality. A growth of sorts, a growth of sorts, of course, we're lagomorphs. Unmitigated, unreserved, unquestionable excess. Larkiness, sharkiness, snarkiness, and selfishness. Flags of pure, unfettered, it brashly unfurled. It's a max world. Scooby-da-ba-dee-ba-dee, zoopy-doogie-da-ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-doo-ba.
Dear heavenly coconut daiquiris! I felt like that elevator pitch was taking me straight up into the sky.